All right, these are the 5 different networking channels I use to grow my network as a brand new business owner. I didn't even have a business, had 0 network, 0 connections. I was not raised around entrepreneurs, to now having a business that does over 10K a month, and I did no outreach. None whatsoever. So these are the 5 different things I did to grow my network. Number 1 is every single job I worked, I made it a priority to get in good rapport with the owner of that company. So coming out of college, I worked a lot. I kind of dropped out of college. So at 19, I was like, I'm done with this. So I had done a couple semesters and I was like out, and I was just like dogmatic about getting a job immediately in the professional realm. So I started working for a like interior design company as an executive assistant and got on good terms with the founder of that, got promoted. Then I started working for a fashion company. I started as like an assistant, and then I became an account manager. And then I worked for a nonprofit. So I was in all different industries and I was networking in all of them. And those connections came in really handy. And then number 2 is I looked up local networking events for business owners in my area and just literally went to every single one that I heard about. If I got invited to something, even if it was like a 5-hour drive, even if I had to fly across the country, I was there. I started flying to business events at like 19 years old alone. I'd never flown before. My first flight was actually to a business conference in Florida alone. And I was just like, let me put myself in the places where these wealthy people are, because even though I didn't have a business at the time, I knew that I wanted to learn what they knew because they had the lifestyle I wanted. And so I was just putting myself in environments around people that I wanted to be like people that I genuinely looked up to. And even if I didn't know anyone, like I went to a conference a few months ago and it was like real estate agents and then like social media influencers. It was like a weird mix. But I met so many cool people that helped me with my copywriting, that got on my podcast. And so number 2 is find events local to your area, but also like be willing to travel. Like that could be a whole different section. Is like be willing to travel for events. I remember literally having no income coming in and like dropping like 2-3 grand on like a business conference in Vegas, like all my savings, because I just knew if I could get around those people, I would be able to make it back. And every time I've invested into my education, I've made it back way more than what I invested. So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be online networking. So if you're saying there's no networking events in my area or whatever, you live in like a place in the middle of nowhere, well, number 1, you can travel like I did. And number 2, you can go online into platforms like School, LinkedIn. You can find these online Facebook groups, find these groups where you can get around that caliber of person, those entrepreneurs, and learn from people in an online setting. Everyone is learning online. Like School is such a great place to learn from people. It's like free to use, and you can just get around those entrepreneurs that you would be getting around in a business conference, but a lot of times it's free. And if you pay for a course, you can get around even higher caliber people. That's how I found my first few clients. And well, that's how I found my first client. Then the few clients after that were from my podcast. But that is a massive hack to get into online communities. And then number 4 is you want to be like accessing your current network. I guarantee there are people through friends of friends of friends in your network that are really cool people. And there's this saying that you're only 6 people away from anyone in the world. And that just means that like through like this person knows this person that knows this person that knows this person that knows this person that knows this person, you can connect with anyone. And it's crazy. Like you start to realize that's really true the more you look into your network. And if you're in college or you're in high school, you probably have friends whose parents are really well connected, or they know someone that knows someone in this industry. And if you just access your network and let them know what you're trying to learn about, I guarantee you can find somebody that knows it. And it's also a great way to like market your services. Like my first few people that I landed as clients were people I had on my podcast, and then I reached out to them and I was basically just like thanking them for being on my podcast. Thank you so much for the wisdom you shared. I'm so excited to share this with my audience. I know they're going to get a lot of value out of it. Also, just shot in the dark, but I started copywriting. I've gotten some really good results with my emails. I wrote, this project or whatever, some credibility, just talking about something I had worked on. And then I would just say, if you happen to know anyone, I would actually ask them, I'm like, do you happen to know anyone that needs a copywriter? It might be a total shot in the dark, but just figured you had an epic network, so I thought I would reach out. And that worked really well. I had a lot of people get back to me and be like, oh yeah, I need a copywriter. So that is number 4. And then number 5 is referrals. And that's going to happen after you take these 1, 2, 3, 4 steps and you start building your network. I've had so many podcast guests referred to me because they hear about like what I'm working on. They hear about my audience, my mission, my goals. And they're like, oh my God, you got to interview this person. I'll make an introduction. The amount of interviews that have come about through like email introductions is insane, like absolutely insane. Actually, like more than half of my podcast guests are like some kind of a referral connection. So referrals are like this ripple effect. Like it starts off really small, but as you build your network, you're gonna get more and more access to people, because like you then have this new person in your network who has their whole network that you now like kind of through them are connected to as well. And like I've had guests on my podcast like Max Pearson and like Daniel Bissonette, and tomorrow I'm gonna have Evelyn Weiss, who won the school games the first month, and they're just a result of referrals of other people that connected me to them, and I'm really thankful for those people. And it's just incredible how if you add value to people and you listen well and you're genuinely just curious, you're looking to learn from them instead of pitch them on something, you can grow your network super fast. Because most of my network has come about in the last 6 months. And like I've never done cold outreach. I've never had to, because I have such a massive network and I'm so well connected through like school, through my social media, through my podcast, and all these things have led to just organic relationships where I have like a list of people that are clients and people that want to be clients, because I have like genuine relationships with people. And the trust is already there, and that's the hardest part with the sale, is building trust. So if you guys want help landing your first client, building your network, and scaling to 10K a month, I'm gonna put a link in the description to book a call. I'm happy to jump on a call and strategize with you, see if there's any way I can help you. I'm also gonna be putting out a lot more videos, so hopefully this was helpful. I will see you guys soon.